members will discuss those who've asked to be considered in connection with the board's appointment of a new board member to fill the position on the board resulting from Robert Bubba Smith's move and board vacancy. Sandra is our most senior board member, so we will start with Sandra tonight.
Do we need any background from anyone on this item?
Do we want
Can
to
you explain to the public the
What?
process we're going to use?
This is how we're going to do this tonight. Sandra will start off because she's our most senior board member
From Mesquite.
Mesquite. And she will make a nomination, and we'll see where it goes from there. And depending on how that goes, it will then go to Barb, who is the next Mesquite rep, and she'll make a nomination, and we'll see what happens. And then if that doesn't work out, we'll go to Rich Bowler, who is the Bunkerville senior rep, and we'll see what happens. And then I might get to polish this all off. And if that doesn't work, then we go back to Sandra. So it's kind of, did I hit the nail on the head there?
Yeah, you did. Just so that maybe for the public's benefit, the district's charter provides that, and it's, the bylaws say exactly the same thing. If there's a vacancy on the board, it falls on the board members that remain to nominate and appoint the next director. So there's not a lot of additional guidance that's given, so it basically can be left to the board to do that in a manner that they choose by vote. So what you described it's fully consistent with our charter and bylaws.
To also add to that, that if we don't appoint somebody within 30 days, then the county commission would appoint somebody.
That's correct.
Okay. Sandra?
I'd like to nominate Carl Gustavusson.
Okay, we have a nomination. Do we have a second? Okay, there's no second, so we'll move on to Barb.
I would like to nominate Ben Davis.
I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. We have a first and second. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, motion carries 3-1. Okay, we'll move on to item 3 for discussion and possible action. Consideration to approve task order number Forsgren 2016-4 to Forsgren Associates. This is for the Virgin River transmission line crossing the biological assessment. This is not to exceed $14,350,000.
Okay, this item keeps coming, well, this project, I should say, keeps coming back. After the Fish and Wildlife and Army Corps of Engineers had us do the prior bird count and the wetland delineation, now they're coming back and asking for a biological assessment to be performed.
Now, before you finish, didn't this already come back for additional money once before?
Twice before.
Twice before?
Yes.
Okay. And it's always been pertaining to outside agencies?
Yeah, if I may, and I'm sorry if I'm going to steal your thunder here.
No, go ahead.
When Forsgren Engineering provided us the scope of work for their preliminary evaluation report for this project, there was no environmental work anticipated when they submitted their scope of work. The NDOT bridge that they built back in 2008 had a full range of biological assessments and delineations and things like that. We were anticipating that the Army Corps of Engineers and the Fish and Wildlife Service would say, you know what, that was only 8 years ago and nothing's really changed in the river. Therefore, you could go ahead and use all the environmental work that's been done on the bridge as part of your project, and our project's going to have less impact on the river than the bridge did. And so that's why, number one, Forsgren didn't plan on doing this work because we're anticipating being able to use the NDOT studies that had been done. And then Aaron will talk about why it's continuing to grow at this point.
And so again, there was not a anticipation of having to do a second one. And the plan, I mean, from my understanding, they're going to use the original as a template most likely and go forward. And they did do a Google search, when I say they, the feds, and decided to add 2 additional species to have looked at during this biological assessment. And so that is the need, I guess, to come back to the board and ask for an additional $14,350. Again, this is to perform the biological assessment that the Fish and Wildlife is requiring to perform this project.
Are we anticipating any more unanticipated studies?
None that
We're not anticipating
Yes.
anymore, no.
I just have one question.
Barb?
So, under the species that they want us to look at, is the yellow-billed cuckoo and the razorback sucker.
And I think there was others.
So, is that just the animal, or are we gonna extend that out to other cuckoos and stuff? Just kidding, kidding.
Okay,
I'll make-
any other board comments or questions?
I'll make a motion if there is.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve task order number Forest Grant 2016-4 to Forest Grant Associates for the Virgin River Transmission Line Crossing Biological Assessment not to exceed $14,350.
Okay, we have a motion on the table.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a first and second, all in favor. Motion carries. And we'll go ahead and open it back up for public comment. Again, just a reminder, please step up to the podium, state your name, and limit it to 3 minutes, please.
She would stay the same, and I would just like to say how refreshing it was to, I'll get that thing off, to come to a meeting where not only do you honor our Lord Jesus Christ, but you honor our country. That was very nice. And one other small comment, when you appoint someone and make your decision, it would have been nice to have that person stand up so we all knew who it was. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ben Davis, can you stand up, please?
Thank you. Nice to know you, Ben. Thanks.
Any other comment? Yes.
Wade Polson, General Manager, Lincoln County Water District. It's a question about your last item. On the EA, did the Fish and Wildlife, it was specific to the 2 species that they wanted the EA done, or
No.
why are they requiring it after it's already been done by NDOT? Just
Because they have the power of the pen.
so they didn't give you any reason why the EA had to be done?
They're saying that the time, the timeline from when it was originally done for the bridge work, they wanted a new one.
And is that timeline like a year, 6 months, 90 days?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Criteria.
I just,
We
it
never
just
found
seems, it
anything.
seems to me like Fish and Wildlife is just double dipping on trying to get these EAs done, that every time it's just more money, and so all they're gonna do is cut and paste what they did a year ago or 6 months ago and charge you $14,000 for it, is what it sounds like.
Pretty much.
Okay. Just wanted to be clear on that, thank
Do
you.
you have another option for us?
No, because they hold the cards, not unless we can get regulation changed.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were trying to buy something right now. So, any other public comment at this time? Okay, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting and hopefully see you guys on Tuesday.